and welcome to a Vinyasa flow class. So today you will need a block and a strap, and if you do have any injuries, make sure to check with the doctor or just send me a message and use modifications in some of the poses and really just listening to the body. So we'll begin by taking a block, and I just want you to sit on the block, opening up the hips, crossing the legs, rooting the sit bones into the block, lifting the crown of the head tall, closing the eyes, placing the hands down onto the thighs, stacking the shoulders above the hips, make sure the spine is long, and breathing in and out of the nose. Arriving in this space. Noticing as the back, the lungs, the belly rises with each inhale, and the shoulders relax, the body moves down with each exhale. Checking in, seeing if there are any parts of the body that are holding tension, and really using the control of the exhale to release that tension. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the face. Then we're going to do 5 rounds of Ujjayi breath, so victorious breath, restricting the back of the throat. Deep inhale 1. Exhale. Inhale 2. Exhale. Inhale 3. Exhale. Inhale 4. Exhale. Inhale 1 more. Exhale. And then inhale, coming back to that neutral breath without forcing anything. Allowing the shoulders to relax. And then just slowly opening the eyes, removing the block. Okay, we're going to come into a tabletop position now. So I want you to take the hands underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. We're going to do 5 rounds of cat-cow. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, really plugging that belly button in, rounding the spine in the opposite direction, tucking that tailbone in. Inhale, reaching the tailbone up, push the chest forward. Exhale. Inhale 3. Exhale. Inhale 4. Exhale. Inhale 1 more. Exhale. And then we're going to move straight in to our downward facing dog. So I want you to untuck the toes at the back. I'm just going to And then we're going to come straight into our downward facing dog. So untucking the toes at the back, lifting the tailbone up towards the ceiling, paddling out the feet, pulling the triceps in towards each other, really grounding down through the roots of the fingers. Pressing into the ground with that big thumb and the little finger. And then we're going to inhale, planting the right foot down. Sorry, lift the left leg in the air, 3-legged dog. And then I want you to take that left foot out towards the side. So we're moving that left leg out keeping the hips square, moving that leg back into the three-legged dog. We're going to move forward into plank, keeping the leg where it is, and then moving that leg over to the left, moving it back, coming back into that three-legged dog, taking the knee in towards the chest, moving that left foot in between the two hands at the front and coming down into our low lunge. Inhale, taking the hands above the head, taking the fingers together, keeping the index fingers reaching towards the ceiling but interlacing the other fingers, and then pressing into that left heel, coming to a mini back bend. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Breathing here. And then inhale, taking the hands to the heart center. We're going to take the hands down to the ground now, untuck the toes at the back and come into a high lunge. So we're really making sure that left foot's underneath that left knee. We're going to inhale, taking the hands above the head, squeezing the thighs, the glutes, really engaging the core. And then pulsing here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, taking the hands to the heart center, interlacing the fingers around the back, and then bringing that back foot to a 45-degree angle, coming into a variation of Warrior One. Bending into that front knee still. Pull the shoulder blades back, reach forward. Engaging the core muscles, keeping the hips square towards the front. And then we're going to inhale, taking the hands above the head. And as we exhale, taking the hands down to the mat, stepping that left foot back, lowering down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Same but on the opposite side this time. So inhale, planting that left foot down, reach the right leg in the air, three-legged dog. Engaging the core. Begin to move that right foot over to the right hand side, keeping the hips square, engaging the thighs, engaging the glutes. Moving that right foot back into that three-legged dog. And then taking that right foot in between the two hands at the front, lowering down into our low lunge, untucking the toes at the back. We're going to inhale, taking the hands up to the sky, interlace the fingers, keep the index fingers reaching towards the ceiling, pressing into that front heel, coming into a mini back bend. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. And then inhale, taking the hands to the heart center. We're going to take the hands down to the mat as we exhale, untuck the toes at the back, coming into our high lunge. Inhale, take the hands above the head. Pulsing here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, taking the hands to the heart center. We're going to interlace the fingers around the back, taking that left foot to a 45 degree, keeping the hips square, bending into that front knee, coming into a variation of Warrior One. Pull the shoulder blades together and reach forward. Breathing here. Squeeze the core, squeeze the glutes, the thighs. And then inhale, taking the hands to the heart center. And as we exhale, dropping the hands down to the mat, stepping that right foot back, lowering down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing here. I'm just going to swap sides so you can all see what I am doing. We're going to inhale, planting that right foot down, lift the left leg in the air, three-legged dog. Taking that left foot over to the left hand side. Inhale, back to that three-legged dog. Coming forward into plank, keeping the leg where it is, moving the leg over to the left and then back to center, moving back into our three-legged dog, remembering to breathe. Taking that left foot in between the two hands at the front, dropping that back knee, low lunge. Taking the hands above the head, interlacing the fingers, coming into a mini back bend. Taking the hands to the heart center, dropping the hands down to the mat, untucking the toe at the back and coming into our high lunge, pulsing here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, take the hands to the heart centre. Bringing that back foot to a 45-degree angle, interlacing the fingers at the back, coming into our warrior one variation. And breathing here. And then inhale, taking the hands to the heart centre. This time we're going to windmill the hands round and come into our warrior two. Making sure you can still see the big toe, pressing into the outer edge of that back foot. Straight, strong, powerful arms, gaze towards that middle finger. Engaging the core. Breathing here. And then reversing the warrior, taking the left hand towards the back, feeling that nice stretch in the side. Inhale, moving back into our warrior two. We're going to twist towards the front, straightening that front leg. I want you to bring this back leg forward slightly, keeping the foot at a 45-degree angle. We're going to take opposite elbows, or if you have the flexibility, you can take reverse namaste. Deep inhale to lengthen, and as we exhale, forward fold towards that left foot, bringing that belly towards the thigh. Staying here for 5 breaths. Keeping the hips square towards the front, shoulders away from the ears. Breathing here. 2 more breaths. 1 more deep inhale. Exhale. Inhale, bending into that left knee, coming up to rise. And as we exhale, taking the hands to the heart centre, dropping them down, stepping that left foot back, lowering down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, staying here for 2 breaths. I'm just going to swap sides so you can see. One more breath, deep inhale. Inhale, gaze towards the front. Either step or jump to the mat, hands to the shins, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend the knees, watch the hands rise. Exhale, taking the hands to the heart centre, Samasthiti. Inhale, taking the hands above the head. Exhale, fold. Inhale, gaze forward, halfway lift. Exhale, step or jump back to plank. Take a deep inhale here, gaze towards the front. And as we lower down with control, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, opposite side. Inhale, planting the left foot down, reach the right leg in the air, 3-legged dog. Moving that right foot over to the right. Back to the centre, 3-legged dog. Moving forward into plank. Taking that right leg over to the side, back to centre, really engaging the core. 3-legged dog. Taking that right foot in between the 2 hands at the front, lowering that back knee, coming into our low lunge, interlacing the fingers, moving into that back bend. Breathing here. Inhale, taking the hands to the heart centre, lowering the hands down, untucking the toes at the back, coming into that high lunge. Pulsing here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, take the hands to the heart centre. Take that left foot to a 45-degree angle. Keep the hips square, interlacing the fingers at the back and lowering down. Breathe in here, squeeze the shoulder blades together, open up the chest. Inhale, taking the hands to the heart centre. And then we're going to windmill round, coming into our warrior two. Really tucking the tailbone in, making sure that knee's not coming in front of the big toe. Staying here for a few breaths. One more deep inhale. Reversing the warrior, moving forward and then flipping back over to that left hand side. Inhale, coming back to centre. Straightening that front leg, twisting towards the front, and then just take that back foot forward slightly. Option to take opposite elbows or reverse namaste and then forward fold over that right leg. Staying here for 5 breaths. Two more breaths here. See if you can fold a little bit deeper on that exhale. Inhale, bending into that right knee, coming up to stand. Exhale, taking the hands to the heart centre, stepping that hands down towards the mat, stepping that right foot back, lowering down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, staying here for a few breaths. One more deep inhale. Inhale, gaze towards the front, either step or jump to the front of the mat. Hands to the shins, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend the knees, watch the hands rise. And as we exhale, taking the hands to the heart centre, Samastiti. Inhale, take the hands above the head. Exhale, fold. Inhale, gaze forward, halfway lift. Exhale, step or jump back to plank, lowering down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, downward facing dog. Planting the right foot down, lift the left leg in the air, 3-legged dog. Taking that left foot over to the left. Inhale, back to centre. Coming forward into plank. Taking that left foot over to the left, moving back. Inhale, 3-legged dog. As we exhale, take that left foot in between the two hands at the front, drop back, back knee, low lunge. Inhale, taking the hands above the head, coming into that mini back bend. Inhale, taking the hands to the heart centre. Option to stay here. If you want to try out your flexibility, you may take hold of that back foot. Breathing here. Dropping that back foot, taking the hands down to the mat, untucking that back foot, coming into our high lunge, deep inhale. Pulsing here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, taking the hands to the heart centre, taking the back foot to that 45-degree, coming into our warrior one variation. Keeping the hips square, engaging the core. Inhale, taking the hands to the heart centre, windmilling round into that warrior two. Reversing the warrior, taking that left hand over to the right, gaze towards the ceiling. Coming back into that warrior two, twisting towards the front, straighten this left leg, bring the right leg in slightly, reverse namaste or grab opposite elbows and then lowering down into that forward fold. And then inhale, bending the knee. We're going to stay halfway lifted. And then option here, you can either use a block on the outer edge of the foot, but we're going to move into a standing variation. So move the block slightly in front of the foot. You're going to press your weight onto that left leg and twist the hips open, flexing that left foot. You can use no block. Try and take the hand above the head if you can. Maybe gaze. Ooh. And then inhale, coming back to centre. We're going to come into our half splits. So taking the hands down to the mat, folding forward, lifting that right leg up. Maybe taking the hands towards the back of the foot, really engaging that back leg. And then moving that right leg in, dropping the right foot down onto the mat and then coming into a forward fold. Breathing here. Option to take the hands underneath the feet or grab opposite elbows. We're just going to stay here for 5. Allowing the head and shoulders to relax. One more breath. Untucking the toes, gaze towards the front, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, either step or jump back to plank, staying here for 2 breaths. Deep inhale, gaze towards the front. As we exhale, lowering down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, staying here for 3 breaths. One more breath. Inhale, gaze towards the front, either step or jump to the front of the mat, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend the knees, watch the hands rise. Exhale, taking the hands to the heart center, Samastitihi. Inhale, taking the hands above the head. Exhale, fold. Inhale, gaze forward, halfway lift. Exhale, step back, step or jump back to plank, lowering down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, swapping sides, planting the left foot down, reach the right leg in the air, 3-legged dog. Taking that right foot over to the right. Inhale, back to the 3-legged dog. Moving forward into plank, taking that right foot over to the right, and then back. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Taking that right foot in between the 2 hands at the front, dropping the back knee, coming into our low lunge. Breathing here. Inhale, taking the hands to the heart center. Option to stay here, or if you want to, grab hold of the back foot, stretching out the quad. Breathing here for 2. Releasing that back foot, taking the hands down to the mat, untucking the back foot, coming into our high lunge. Pulsing here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, taking the hands to the heart center, dropping that back foot to a 45-degree angle, coming into our warrior 1 variation. Opening up the chest, keeping the hips square, keeping that front knee bent. Inhale, taking the hands to the heart center, swinging the arms round, coming into our warrior 2. Really opening up the hips, squeeze the glutes, tuck the tailbone in, and then reversing the warrior, flipping back towards the left, gaze towards the ceiling, keeping the bend in that knee. Inhale, warrior 2. Straightening the front leg, twisting the hips towards the front and just step that back leg in slightly. Option to take opposite elbows or reverse namaste, folding forward. Three more breaths here. One more breath. And then bending into that front knee. Option to use the block, but moving forward onto the right foot, twisting the hips open. Lifting that left leg up. Finding that balance, squeeze the core, squeeze the glutes, the thighs. Option to stay here, maybe you'll take the hands to the heart center or twisting the body open. Gaze towards the ceiling. And then taking the hands to the heart centre, we're going to come into our half splits, lifting that left leg up. Move the hands back if you want to test yourself, folding the belly towards the thighs. Engaging that back leg. And then slowly bringing that left leg in towards the mat, taking it down towards the mat next to the right foot. Folding forward, option to take the hands underneath the feet or grab opposite elbows. Engaging the stomach still. Breathing here for another 5 breaths. Three more breaths, really using this time to control. Maybe a little bit out of breath, so just regain that control. One more breath. And then inhale, gaze forward, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, either step or jump back to that plank position, lowering down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lower the knees, taking the knees wide, coming into a child's pose just for a moment. Lowering the head down, allowing the arms to move towards the front. Sitting the hips back towards the heels and just allowing the head to rest. If you do need to take a block underneath the head, that's fine. Feeling that stretch in the side, relaxing the shoulders. Finding that calm, that peace. Slowly begin to gaze towards the front of the mat, walking the hands back, coming into a seated position now. So taking the feet out in front, we're going to begin to do some ab work. So I really want you to engage the stomach, pulling the belly button in towards the spine. You can move the feet in towards each other. And we're going to come into a position now, lifting the legs up, lifting the arms up, and keeping that spine straight. Option, if you need to, just begin to tap the feet. If this feels like it's too much, find that stability. If not, lifting both feet up, beginning to lift the legs straight, keeping on them sit bones. Staying here for 3, 2, 1. Begin to move the knees in towards the chest, reaching out, doing this 5 more times. Really engaging the core. 3, 2, and 1. Amazing. Lowering the feet down. Moving down onto the back. Moving the feet in towards the glutes. We're going to come into bridge pose now. So I want you to press into the heels of the feet, lifting the hips up towards the sky. Begin to walk the back underneath, grabbing hold of the hands, squeezing the knees, squeezing the thighs. Staying here for 3, 2, and 1, lowering back down. We're going to do that again, staying here for 2 breaths. You're really using these breaths, no rushing. Deep inhale. And then slowly lifting up the hips, really engaging everything as you are lifting up, pulling the knees in towards each other. Finding that rounding of the spine. We're going to stay here for 3 more breaths. One more deep inhale. Slowly lowering back down. We're going to come into a supine twist now. So I want you to take the left leg over the right if you want to come into a deeper twist. If not, you can take a block and just place that block in between the legs, taking the knees over to the right. Gazing at the hand over to the left, closing the eyes. Feeling that stretch on the lower back. Really connecting that mind-body breath. Staying here for 5 more breaths. Noticing if you're holding tension in the legs, the shoulders, the face. One more deep inhale. And then slowly bring the knees back to center. We're going to swap sides. So taking the right knee over the left, taking the knees over to the left this time. If this is too much, taking that block, or just simply allow the knees to fall to the side, closing the eyes, allowing that natural twist. Calming down the breath with each inhale and exhale. Staying here for 5 more breaths. Three more. And then slowly moving the knees back to center. Taking the knees in towards the chest, hugging the knees in, and then slowly allowing that left knee to drop down. Straightening that left leg. We're going to lift the right leg in the air, grabbing hold of the back of the thigh, and then we're going to swap, grabbing hold, pulling slightly each time we switch. We're doing this for another 10, 9, 8, engaging the core, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bringing both knees in. Just allowing that neck to relax. And then we're going to go one more time. Allowing that left leg to straighten, falling down to the floor. Lifting that right leg up, pulling on the back of the hamstrings slightly, and then swapping. 10, 9, 8, engaging the core, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Amazing. Bringing both knees in. Swaying from side to side, just gazing towards the left. Allow the neck and shoulders to relax. And then gaze towards the right. Amazing. Slowly begin to rock forward and back until you come into your seated position. We're going to come into a fold now. This time I want you to take both feet out, lifting the spine up towards the ceiling. If you do have tight hamstrings, take a block underneath, just sitting on the block. It gives more length in the spine for you to fold forward. If you need to bend the knees, bend the knees. And if you need to use a strap, just taking a strap around the feet. You don't want to pull onto the strap too much, it's just there to gently guide you forward. Okay, we're going to move through about 8 breaths. So deep inhale, lengthen. And as we exhale, fold forward. Allowing the shoulders to relax. Keep lengthening that spine. Deep inhale to lengthen. And as we exhale, fold. Staying here for 3 more breaths. and one more. Inhale. Coming back to a seated position. We're going to finish with a shoulder stand now. If you don't feel comfortable doing a shoulder stand, you can move up against a wall or just simply take a strap, bind it around the feet and just lift the feet up, relaxing the shoulders. To come into a shoulder stand, we're going to move the feet back, coming into a lie down position, moving the feet back, and then you want to bring the elbows into a 90-degree angle so you've really got that support. Lifting the legs up, tucking the chin under, engaging the core. If this feels uncomfortable on the back of the neck, either come out of the pose now or use a blanket underneath the neck. Staying here for 10 more breaths. Remembering not to rush, allowing the blood to flow down towards the head, the shoulders, the neck. And then slowly begin to bend the knees. We're going to bring the knees in towards the ears, pressing into the ears, coming into ear pressure pose. And then allowing the feet to fall towards the back. Bringing the hands down onto the mat and then just lowering the back down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Coming into our Shavasana. Nice and slow. And then grabbing a blanket, grabbing a jumper. If you need to pause the video, pause the video. I'll be staying in this Shavasana for about a minute, but I would recommend staying in it for about 5. Allowing the palms to fall towards the ceiling, the feet to fall towards the sides. Closing the eyes. Slowly bringing some awareness back into the body, so wiggling the toes, wiggling the fingers, rotating the ankles, rotating the wrists, taking the hands above the head, coming into a deep body stretch. And then we're going to take 3 inhales through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, sigh it out. Inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, sigh it out. Inhaling through the nose. Open the mouth, sigh it out. Move, turning over to the side. Coming into a fetal position. And then slowly pressing up into a seated position, crossing the legs. Keeping the eyes closed. Lifting the crown up towards the ceiling, taking the hands towards the heart, and then slowly bowing the head towards the heart. Feeling gratitude for our practice today. I know it was a difficult one, but just seeing how resilient you actually are. Even if some of the moves were too difficult, you've arrived here today, you've given it a go, and I can guarantee that if you keep practicing, keep turning up, you'll be really surprised at how far you can go within your practice. I hope you have an amazing day, taking the hands to the middle of the forehead, bowing down, namaste.